Good evening and welcome to another edition of Texas News Watch. I'm Larissa Liska. Grant thinks the confusion of gender identity was part of the issue. Use exercise like yoga and Pilates to get their athletes up and moving. Stay tuned to find out how UT Rodeo hasn't galloped away. I'm actually going to plan my wedding there.
Oh.
You can learn more about Austin's gentrification in East Austin at the screening of the UT National Association of Black Journalists Blackout documentary. But with climate change threats, these relationships may cease to exist. Join us again next Thursday for another edition of Texas News Watch. Good night. After shootings like at Fort Hood, gun laws tend to spark discussion. Part of the law is that military on base are not allowed to carry guns.
If you have a weapon and you're on base, it's supposed to be registered. No, I don't think soldiers should have concealed weapons on base.
Some veterans believe carrying a gun and taking the concealed handgun class would be safer.
As a veteran, I should still be able to carry a firearm. I believe in the concealed handgun license, and I think it's a good thing.
Although many people are signing up to take the course, it's not easy. Citizens must be 21 years or older and score a 175 out of 250 at this gun target.
Whenever there's any type of national incident, we actually get an influx of people on our website and also inside the shop that are inquiring or signing up for concealed handgun license courses.
Texas college students are more likely to be seen with a gun than a trained military professional.
If you have a concealed handgun license, on campus you can actually walk our sidewalks, but it does have to be concealed, but you cannot take that weapon into any building.
Gun laws are a controversial issue in Texas. Gun owners will have to speak up to make their mark. Larissa Liska, Texas News Watch.
My very first reaction was like, I guess shock.
Tyler Grant, who identifies as genderqueer and uses the pronoun they instead of he or she, was not allowed into the Whataburger on Guadalupe and 28th Street because of what Grant was wearing. In fact, it even takes Grant 3 to 3.5 hours to get into the drag appearance.
No.
Really?
You can't wear it here.
The outfit was a costume that looked like lingerie. At this Whataburger, there is no sign that talks about dress code. We requested an interview with Whataburger, and they issued this statement. This wasn't an issue of gender, but of appropriate attire, as this guest was dressed in lingerie. Again, we welcome everyone into our restaurants, but our customers' experience is our top priority. Whataburger says the incident had to do with clothing, but Grant thinks the confusion of gender identity was part of the issue.
Not just people that you think might be gender neutral or transgender, but really everybody. And so whenever you meet a new person saying, what's your name, what pronouns do you use? And just normalizing that into the routine of getting to know someone.
Grant is mostly frustrated that Whataburger refused to acknowledge the possibility of discrimination.
I've been in there in drag so many times, and that was the last thing I was expecting to happen. I mean, it never even crossed my mind that I wasn't gonna be able to eat.
The incident is under investigation by the city. Grant does not want to punish Whataburger. They just does not want this to happen to someone else. Larissa Liska, Texas News Watch. UT Rodeo got back in the saddle as an organization in 2013. Students have the opportunity to compete in numerous rodeos like at Texas A&M.
I go to the rodeos probably every weekend. College rodeos not every weekend because there's 5 this semester, but I'll either be at a barrel race or a pro rodeo or a college rodeo almost every weekend. Go Jamie!
UT Rodeo is in the process of becoming a club sport again. But until then, more high school students may choose Texas A&M over UT.
People are making the decision to go to A&M because they have rodeo. And so if we can show some high school kids that UT is starting to jump on the rodeo train, then maybe that would make their decision a little easier.
Horses like Tripod love rodeos. UT Rodeo has been off and on since 1957.
One of the rodeos that we went to as Aggie team members, we traveled to Austin for the UT College Rodeo.
As a club sport, UT Rodeo hopes to find a place to keep their horses as well as compete with the support from the university.
I think it's wonderful to have more competition. We always want the quality of our events to be higher up.
Now we're going to go to Layne kids in Texas A&M University.
And then when you make nationals from the southern region, which is considered one of the toughest in the nation, it just means more.
With UT support, the rodeo team has the opportunity to grow as a tradition, compete against other colleges, and be able to continue riding. Larissa Liska, Texas News Watch.
Turn left on University.
Lately, running events are taking off with a bang. Some UT runners like Gaëlle Pfister, who is in the UT Running Club and was a pacer for this year's Longhorn run on the UT campus, just loves running.
My first week actually in the club, we did a 200-mile relay. That was like my first start with the club.
Lorena Rodriguez, newcomer to the running trend, felt accomplished after training consistently for a month and finishing her first race ever.
Goal number one is, quite honestly, to get to the finish line all by myself without the help of any medical personnel and not to injure myself.
This year, Nike and UT Rec Sports provided training plans for runners to use in their pre-race workout.
There's not going to be anyone here that thinks, oh, you're not running fast enough. It's really just getting every Longhorn out here that wants to be out here. And two, there's a training program. You follow it, I promise you can roll out of bed this morning and run a 5K.
Running events like Longhorn Run with over 3,500 competitors can be hard. When training, it's important to train mentally and physically. After that, just run.
Even if it's one lap around the track, start slowly, progress gradually, and you're gonna have a lot of fun.
No matter what training plan is used for a race, a runner's instincts kick in whether they are new or experienced racers.
Just that little light at the tunnel you see right there, it's just over there, and you're just like, I've got that two miles left or that 1 mile left. You're just like, I'm gonna give it all out.
Larissa Liska, Texas News Watch. Will Chandler's career at UT started with a really good experience while visiting as a high school student.
I met Scoggin on the very first day I was ever here, and I think since then I wanted to come and dive at UT.
Way to go.
Although Chandler has made a splash in the program under UT diving coach Matt Scoggin, it wasn't easy. As a sophomore at UT, Chandler had to get his large intestine removed.
Knowing in my head that I would be able to be as good of a diver as I was before and be able to come back even better and stronger, that's mainly what got me through it.
With help and support from teammates, Chandler was able to keep diving.
It's really neat to see a young person deal with obstacles and not give up and then achieve what they can. That's one of the reasons I do what I do.
Chandler has not let his past health problems end his passion for diving.
I love flipping and spinning around. I dive because I truly enjoy it.
For Chandler, it's not about the trophies or medals one wins. It's about the victory of knowing that you can get back up and dive. Larissa Liska, Texas News Watch. The Seattle Seahawks' high-flying victory over the Denver Broncos was a standout win in Super Bowl history. The Seahawks and other NFL teams are now incorporating yoga and Pilates in their athletic conditioning.
I didn't know what to expect. I'm thinking more dance stuff, kind of stretching and balanced, but that first session that I did with Jennifer was a rude awakening.
These exercises provide a good calorie burn and help connect the deepest muscles in the joints and spine to rehabilitate and prevent injuries.
That explosive big movement, they do all of that, but they really are missing a link of injury prevention. The Pilates, initiating everything from the core, creating proper biomechanics, and strengthening the stabilizers to work in conjunction with the big muscle groups.
Exercises like here at Dancer Shape really get the athletes pumped up and ready to go for the NFL season. At the University of Texas at Austin, trainers at Texercise use exercise like yoga and Pilates to get their athletes up and moving.
Pilates and yoga actually is a great combination, as yoga being up on your feet also incorporates balance, flexibility and strength.
Good workouts that strengthen the body aid athletes in the long term.
A lot of guys that actually took this course last year stayed healthy throughout the whole season.
Defeating the competition is a goal for some athletes, but the main goal is to stay healthy, flexible, and strong. Larissa Liska, Texas News Watch.